I want to ask you in regards to kind of putting those constraints in, why you guys are doing your analysis for some of these kind of, absurd numbers a little bit.
You know, ultimately, if a company has really big top line growth expectations or other, high flying metrics, we are definitely analyzing, of course, the TAM, right? First and foremost is like, is the market even big enough to achieve something of this scale, right? And I think we all will say in the AI world, like there is, such a pasture there for everyone to grow into, but really, is it as big as we're all forecasting, expecting, or are we hopeful for? I'm naturally a bullish person in general, and I would say I sure hope so, right? I think there's AI application that could be addressed across every enterprise, every consumer product across the board. However, do we all really have a true understanding of how big that TAM is to fulfill something as mighty of that level of forecast? And then furthermore, as much as I'm kind of thinking about the deployment of some of these products, of whether it's AI or other software that is enterprise scale, is, I'm really looking at the tenacity, the capability of the sales team, their ability to execute and get out there, their ability to iterate products on an R&D level that is really quick to address and apply to the enterprise, and understanding that, ultimately, enterprise software involves longer sales cycles as a whole. So with that said, it's like, sure, you might have 3% year over year forecasted growth, but do you have a sales, capacity that can fulfill that and be out there and be selling these contracts and signing these contracts and onboarding the customers and then getting them to scale up their contract value by way of consumption or otherwise? And I think generally those are really, really important things to understand across the businesses that have really strong forecasted growth. And then, Christian, as you said, if you're talking about mid-market companies per se, who might be doing growth by acquisition, well, how long is that integration going to take to integrate the acquired asset, the acquired companies or acquired customers, get them scaled up to full capacity, and then actually start generating meaningful additional revenue on that customer base by way of that asset? And like, those are very, very important questions that, once again, it really goes back to the story being told by the company, by the issuer. And are you painting a picture that is a realistic thing that can, jet out and become a success?
That makes sense. And when you're looking also at this, because obviously there's not as much capital in the private market, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be, obviously, we're going to see an uptick a little bit. But right now, holistically, and one of the reasons why a lot of companies have stayed private is because there's been a massive amount of private capital in this industry, which obviously has elongated the IPO structure, which is kind of why we're in this situation.